plane ride back to New York, Robyn began throwing her weight around, or her weave around, because we all know that goddamn Robyn Gibbons is the most bald-head chicken we ever saw since that Whitney Houston. Okay, but we loved Whitney. But we just started back, kind of embracing Robyn, because we hated that piece. Up, love bugs, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and don't forget to tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NAROB on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. Now, let's continue talking about Mikey Tyson. Cuz and I had been talking since I was 14 about beating Larry Holmes. He had given me a blueprint, hit him with the right behind my jab. I thought I would become part of a boxing history by taking Holmes out and avenging my hero, Ali's defeat, like Sugar Ray Robinson avenged Henry Armstrong's by defeating Fritzy Zivik. 3 weeks before the fight, I was given a warning. Holmes is a better fighter than Biggs, and you trained harder for Biggs than you're training for this. You better step it up. So I did. I went to the pre-fight press conference, but I was bored. I always hated those things. Sometimes I'd even fall asleep at them. There was nothing I wanted to hear. I just wanted to fight. I didn't want to go through all of that stuff. Don King would be talking all this bullshit and gibberish, making up these fake fucking words. The matrimony of fisticuffs and delish mushing office of illumination, crowdication, and emancipation. Who wanted to hear that shit? All the fools. Because the rest of the world looked at him like, what is this fool doing? But some people are very entertained by that. Let me give Don King his props. He understood that he was a ring master. And as a ring master, you must keep the audience's attention by all means. Don King, my darlings, was the original troll. But at this press conference, I decided to snub Holmes. I was very offensive, so Holmes got arrogant. I'm going down in history, not Mike Tyson. He's going down in history as a son of a bitch. If he do happen to win the fight down the line, he'll destroy himself. I guess he was Nostradamus that day. We broke all records for ticket sales. All the celebs were there. Jack Nicholson, Barbra Streisand, Don Johnson, Kirk Douglas. I got so wound up warming up in my dressing room that I literally punched a hole in the wall. I'm just an animal sometimes. Yep, that's exactly what the Corinne Stephens said about you, that you's the animal in the bedroom. Oh, okay. Don't be punching holes in these people's shits. Don't be punching holes in walls around here. Yes, you can afford to fix it, but don't be punching up these people's houses. What the hell? This ain't the Mike the Mike Tyson house. Shit, I'll be like, sit your crazy ass down. Shit. Get some plaster. I made my entrance without music. I was all business. They brought Ali into the ring to wave to the audience. He came over to my corner. Get him, he said. The bell rang, and we went at it. I was beating Holmes every round. He hadn't trained enough, so he was scared to throw a punch. In the fourth round, I was on the ropes, and the referee said, break. As soon as he said that, I threw that 2-punch combination that Cuss used to talk about. Pow, pow, and he went down. He got back up, but he was hurt. All I had to do was touch him. I didn't even have to hit him on the chin. He was going down. I was going full speed ahead and he was avoiding most of my punches. He was very difficult to hit because his arms were so long he could catch your punches in the air. Then he made the mistake of throwing an uppercut and he got caught in the rope and bam, I knocked him out. I tried to help him up, but his corner wouldn't let me near him. So I leaned in and said, "You're a great fighter. Thank you." "You're a great fighter too, but fuck you," he said back to me. "Fuck you too, Mother Hunchy," I said. I had everything I wanted, but I wasn't happy within myself. The outside world wasn't making me happy anymore. I didn't know how to get it from the inside because happiness, as I realized later, is an inside job. So in a state of despair, I did the last thing I should have done. I got married. Pause. Let me tell you what one of the dirtiest dicks ever told me. Every time I talk to a man, every time I read a book, baby, with men, marriage is about timing. They could be going through something mentally. They could have just lost their mother or their best friend. The next thing, their life is flashing in front of them, and they believe that they need to have what is considered true. They're trying to make their life right. And what they believe is right is marrying a woman. And 9 times out of 10, it's not the woman that they love. It's the woman that they're with. Marriage is about timing for men. Women marry wholeheartedly for love. I mean, you got some dirty bitches that marry for money, like this Robyn Givens bitch. Mike Tyson married because of timing. Also, the bitch tricked him and said she was 3 months pregnant. So, this nigga want to do the right thing and marry the bitch. I didn't know nothing about lying about being pregnant. I didn't know that kind of stuff went on. I tried to do the honorable thing, but it was the schmuck thing. I was El Schmucker. Around this time, I met the legendary, world-famous pimp author, Iceberg Slim. And guess who introduced him? Leon Isaac Kennedy. That Leon Isaac Kennedy is a whole preacher now, but then, we ain't surprised. What he say, pimp/preacher, that's what Mike Tyson said in the beginning because that is what his pappy was. So I understand his fascination with pimps and hoes because his father was a pimp. Not the one who signed the birth certificate, but the real father, whose last name ain't Tyson. Remember, his mammy was absolutely in love with that pimp. So Mike Tyson ain't never come out and say that his mammy was a hoe. But he know for sure that his father was a pimp. And I think his mammy was an ex-hoe. Through Leon Isaac Kennedy, he met Iceberg Slim. And he created a very respectable relationship with him. He said when he went to his house, he could tell that the old man used to be something, but he would sit at his feet, which I have done myself. When I speak to elders, you sit at their feet in order to show respect. Both my grandmothers are dead, so I haven't sat at an elder's feet in a while. But when I think about it, when I see my great aunt, I probably sit at her feet. Right. What Mike Tyson explained in the book was that he could tell, looking around Iceberg Slim's home, that he has had some very, very nice things, that he has spent some money on the decor in his home. But he could also tell that the items were worn down, like a robe he was wearing, very nice robe, but it was at least 20 years old, and the robe showed the wear. It still did not take away from how he felt about the knowledge. that Iceberg Slim had to offer. He showed a lot of respect to the man, Iceberg Slim. About a week after Robyn and I got married, I was asleep in Catskill. When I woke up, I saw there was some snow on the ground, so I called Bill Caton to tell him that I couldn't make it into the city. He had wanted me to sign a new managerial contract that had been changed to state that if either Jim or Bill died, their wives would get their share of the proceeds. That seemed innocuous enough, but alarms should have gone off in my head when Bill got the police commissioner of Albany to send a marked police car to drive me to the city. They wanted that thing signed awfully bad. Jimmy and Bill were there along with Jose Torres. Jose was getting canned as the commissioner of boxing in New York, but I guess he was there to help out his friends Jimmy and Bill. My next fight was with Tony Tubbs in Japan. If I thought I was getting the celebrity treatment in the States, Japan was totally over the top. After the Jake Paul fight, many people were disappointed, okay, because it really did appear scripted. The Latino rapper Joe, is it Fat Joe? Fat Joe said was that when he entered that ring, he entered the ring alone, and he left that ring alone. He left alone with his $20 million purse.
I'm Mike Tyson. Is 58 years old. The best looking 58-year-old in the universe. But that's 2 years from 60 years old. The man come from nothing. He made it. Made $1 billion, and 95 to 98% of that money got stolen from him. They stole all his money. Do we think if he was a billionaire and he had crazy money, he would be fighting somebody at 58? No. I've been hearing all the talk. Everybody saying, yo, the fight, it wasn't Mike. He's 58 years old. 2 years from 60. I'm happy Mike ain't get hurt. I'm happy Mike ain't get knocked out. I'm really happy that I am Mike Tyson, 58 years old, might have took home $30 million last night.
I respect it, because this, just talking about this, shows these people preying on this man and his pocket. The Japanese promoter, Mr. Honda, had handpicked Tony Tubbs as my opponent because he thought that he had the best shot at prolonging the fight into the later rounds and satisfying the audience. Don King had even promised Tony a $50,000 bonus if he came in at under 235 pounds. But Tony was battling some demons then, and he couldn't make weight. Robyn joined me in Tokyo, and Larry Merchant interviewed her right before the fight. Inquiring minds want to know, how does a woman who went to Sarah Lawson College and Harvard Medical School wind up falling in love with a guy who's a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks, he asked. Pause. We found out that bitch was a whole liar. They said that they called around there to Harvard, to the registrar's office, and that bitch was never, ever enrolled. And this bitch. God, I want to know too. We have a lot in common. Traditional families. It was sort of love at first sight. It was hard at the beginning, but we got through it, and we got married. The fight didn't last long. I felt Tubbs out in the first round, and I was pleased to see that he wasn't trying to clinch. On the plane ride back to New York, Robyn began throwing her weight around, or her weave around, because we all know that goddamn Robyn Gibbons is the most bald-head chicken we ever saw since that goddamn Whitney Houston. Okay, but we loved Whitney. But we just started back, kind of embracing Robyn, because we hated that bitch. Oh, we hated that. How you gonna take advantage of the Mike Tyson? Everybody know his train don't chug.
Did you ever come into a fight high, Mike? Huh? Did you ever come into a fight high?
No, cocaine.
Right.
It's alright.
Hello.
Cocaine.
You a dirty bitch. God gonna get you. Robyn began throwing her weight around. She cornered Bill Caton and, according to him, said, "I'm Mrs. Mike Tyson and I'm taking over." She demanded to see all the paperwork concerning my agreements with Bill and Jim. If she wanted to see the books, it was fine with me. If Jimmy had been there, I'm sure the situation would have been handled more smoothly. He was much more of a people person than Bill, but Jimmy had to miss the fight because he was in a hospital in New York. He had lied to me and told me that he couldn't attend the fight because he was trying to locate some rare film footage of black boxers from the turn of the century. Nobody had told me that Jim was seriously ill. So when I got a phone call in my limo from Robyn a few days after getting back to New York, it threw me for a loop. "Michael, Jimmy is dead," she said. I was messed up. I had known Jimmy for a long time. I had felt that Cuss had entrusted me to Jimmy, who was very close to Cuss. If Cuss was like a father to me, Jimmy was like a brother to me. While I was attending the funeral, Robyn and her mother were making a scene at the Merrill Lynch office in New York that handled my finances. Bert Sugar, the great boxing writer, happened to be in the office at the time and saw Robyn and her mother screaming at the Lynch people. "Give me my money," they demanded. When my account executive refused, Robyn called him a motherfucker. They wanted to withdraw $5 million cash to buy us a mansion in New Jersey that Robyn's mother had picked out. The morning of the funeral, Robyn called me from the Lynch offices and put the executive on the phone. He explained that my money was in short-term investments, triple tax-free, that were coming due on April 14th. The interest from those would have paid most of my 1988 tax bill, so that's why he didn't want to pull the money out. I listened and then told him to give them the money. I was in love. I was El Schmucko. And then the mammy went and found in my house, the dirty bitch. Dirty bitch. One day, Robyn and Ruth and I were in downtown Manhattan at a soul food restaurant, and Robyn put her hands in my pocket to get money for the bill. And she came up with some condoms.